Hello, welcome to Screen Talk with yours truly, Namfnel Malloy. Wow, I had fun watching the Grammys, like with the performances and like all the wins, and also to how they paid tribute to LA in various ways, like with by showing different local establishments and having the firefighters that was just fantastic to see. And so, because I watched both the main ceremony, I watched it on Prime Video through the City TV channel, and then the premiere ceremony, I saw that on the Grammys YouTube channel. So, yeah, that was fun. And I want to talk about my predictions. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Now, I want to first start with R&B. So, while I did record my predictions for the R&B section, I had to cut it just because for the sake of time, so that I could put the video fast because the video was quite lengthy. So here is like a condensed version of what I picked for those sections. So let's go with best R&B performance. So this is for new vocal or instrumental R&B recordings. With performance in mind, I ultimately went with Money Long, Made for Me live on BT. I think for me, just with how that song just stood out to me out of the bunch. And I believe she has been nominated or has won before. So I think, yeah, those are my reasons for this prediction. If she doesn't win, I could see Coco Jones taking it, or maybe SZA, because, SZA is popping up these days. I don't know if Chris Brown could take it. Maybe Janae Aiko, but I'm ultimately going with Money Long on this one as my final prediction. All right, next up, best traditional R&B performance. So this is for new vocal or instrumental traditional R&B recordings. I ultimately went with "That's You" by Lucky Day. I think that one just stood out to me out of the bunch from listening to it. So that influenced my decision to choose that song as my final prediction for this one. All right, next up, best R&B song. This is a Songwriters Award, so singles or tracks only. I ultimately went with Ruined Me by Money Long. I would say like the songs in this category are good, but Ruined for me stood out of the bunch just based off listening to it, so that's why I'm going with that prediction. If that one doesn't win, I could see SZA taking it or Coco Jones. So, but my final prediction here is Ruined Me by Money Long. And then next up, Best Progressive Album. This is for albums containing greater than 75% playing time of newly recorded progressive vocal tracks derivative of R&B. This one was fairly easy to predict, so I'm ultimately choosing Why Laud by No X Worries, mainly because this is one of my favorite albums that came out last year. And yeah, with Anderson Paak, he's no stranger to the Grammys. He has won before, has been nominated before. So yeah, that I would say ultimately I'm going with that one. If that one doesn't win, I could see either Avery Sunshine, Duran Barr, or Kalani taking this one. Maybe Childish Gambino had a shot because he has been nominated before and all that stuff, but I'm ultimately going with Why Not by No Exorcist. Last one for R&B category, Best R&B Album. This is for albums containing greater than 75% playing time of new R&B recordings. I went with my gut here. I'm choosing Revenge by Money Long, but I think mainly because she has been nominated before. Based off the songs I've heard, she sounds great and all that stuff. So I'm going with my gut here. I'm going Revenge by Money Long as my final prediction. If she doesn't win, I could see Lucky Day winning this one or Layla Hathaway. But ultimately, my prediction, Revenge by Money Long. In terms of predictions, I got essentially 14 right and 14 wrong. So I find that's not too bad for as my first official predictions, at least on YouTube. So kudos to me on that front. Maybe I could do better in the future. We'll see on that one. But for R&B, I got a couple right. I got Money Long. She won for R&B and B and performance. Lucky Day, he won for traditional R&B performance. And for progressive R&B album, No X Worries won for Wyla, but it was also a tie. Avery Sunshine won for her album, so that was great. For what I got wrong for R&B, SZA won for R&B song. Chris Brown won for R&B album. So not too bad on that one. I think the category that I did fairly poorly on was for visual media for the most friend. John Batiste won for was music film and for song written for visual media because I guess it shows when in doubt always stick with John Batiste on that front. So I'll keep that in mind next time. Maestro won for compilation soundtrack. I think looking back now, it makes sense. I mean, it focuses on Leonard Bernstein, while like the rest are more what a mix of different artists and all that stuff. So I figured probably that's why that stood out of the bunch. But what I did get right, Hell's Kitchen won for musical theater album. I mean, I guess in retrospect, it makes sense and all that stuff. And I saw what Alicia Keys did her speech during the main telecast, which was nice, and she had nice words to say and all that stuff. What else? I got the country duo group Beyonce won with Miley Cyrus on that one. That was fairly easy, but the rest not so much. Because country album Beyonce won that one for Cowboy Carter. So before the show started, I saw on Twitter apparently only what 9 or 10 categories were going to be presented in the main telecast, and country album was one of them. And then when I saw that while watching the premiere ceremony, I figured, oh, Beyonce is going to win. And then when that happened, when Taylor Swift presented the award, I'm like, yes, that made sense. But also, too, it goes to show that the Grammys, they don't care about all of the other shenanigans that how the other country award shows snub Beyonce, whether that was with the noms or the wins and all that stuff. So yeah, good on the Grammys on that one. And I want to say, yeah, congrats to Beyonce because she finally won Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter. I would say that's rightfully deserved. It was my favorite album that came out last year. So yeah, great on her. And I see that she's going to be doing a tour soon. So that is great. But also, what was great, I was so happy. Yeah, Kendrick Lamar was the big winner. He won 5 Grammys. Insane. I mean, I got record of the year, song of the year. What else? Rap song. I got music video for that one. The one I got wrong was rap performance. I should have went with my initial instinct to choose him for that. Plus, he has won that category before in the past. So there's that. I went with Dochi in my predictions video. Figured because of all the momentum she's gaining, maybe she could have won that one. She did not win rap performance, but she did win best rap album. So yeah, kudos to Kendrick, kudos to Dochi. Those are well deserved, I would say. For the pop section, I did fairly well. I got Sabrina Carpenter. She won for vocal album, and Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars won for their song "Die for Smile." I should have went with Espresso for the what was it, the pop song, pop solo performance. Yeah, that was a big song. What I got wrong was producer of the year and songwriter of the year. So producer of the year went to Daniel Nigro. Songwriter of the year went to Amy Allen. I guess in retrospect those made sense, but yeah, kudos to them. And yeah, Chapel Rowan won Best New Artist. So yeah, that was great. I find she's interesting as an artist. I've heard only 1 or 2 songs of hers, and I want to check out the rest of her stuff. Yeah. So I did fairly well. Performances, I thought, were solid. If I were to choose one that stood out for me was with Dochi's performance during the new artist showcase. I thought like from like the choreography, production design, all that stuff was on top essentially. And the Quincy Jones tribute with what Will Smith, Cynthia Erivo, and everyone there, that was solid. Apparently, during red carpet, AP they did this red carpet interview with Babyface, and apparently in the midst of the interview, they decided to cut him off to invite Chappell Rowan for an interview. That honestly, that's disrespectful because they could have just waited for him to finish the question before inviting Chappell Rowan. I did saw the reporters, they issued apology and all that stuff, but yeah, that was just uncalled for. But really, outside of that, it was a fun show to watch. It wasn't a train wreck and all that stuff, as far as I could tell. But yeah, that's great. So that's essentially my talk on Grammys. I want to know, what do you guys think about the Grammys? Were there any wins that you excited for? Were there any snubs? All that stuff, let me know in the comment section. So if you want to support me, you could visit buymeacoffee.com/Numphy Malloy, where you could donate either one time or monthly donation. Be greatly appreciated. Also, if you want to follow me on social media, my links are in the description. So I want to say thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to catch you on the next one.